Hi everybody. I am going to give this presentation on my internship experience at the Dibble Institute. I did my internship in the fall semester of 2017 and it was a great experience and I'm excited to tell you about it. So the first thing I'd like to talk to you about is how I found and arranged this internship. I think I saw the internship on the list of internships that BYU Idaho has previously approved on their on the school webpage. I didn't, however, reach out to the person listed to email or call until after I talked to one of my friends. So I had tried a couple of the other listed internships, but was still left with no internship, not one that I was interested in. So I asked a friend from school what she had done for hers. And fortunately, she had also done an online internship, which is what I was in need of. So she told me the name of the internship site and who she worked for. And I looked it up. I looked it back up on the school's page, and the name of the company was actually different than who she told me she worked for. And it's now listed as Dibble Institute for Marriage Education, but I was still able to find it because the person who was listed to email or call was the same as the person my friend contacted to do this internship. So I emailed the person listed on the page, and not long after, I received an email back from someone different, but the person who is going to be in charge of the interns this go around. The person I emailed forwarded my email to her, and she emailed me back, and she said she actually had an availability for an internship. So I was really relieved, and she offered it to me, and I was really grateful. Through this experience, I learned that asking those around you can be very helpful. So that's what I would suggest is if you're trying to find an internship, ask those who have done one before, and if they liked it and enjoyed it, and if it's something you'd be interested in. I'm really grateful I asked my friend where she did her internship and that she was willing to share her experience with me. So the next thing I'd like to talk about is the different responsibilities I had working for Dibble Institute. My responsibilities mostly just consisted of completing projects that my supervisor asked me to do, so it was pretty simple that way. You know, she'd just give me a project and, give me the instructions on how to do it. It wasn't necessarily set in stone what I did every day. If she gave me a project that would continue, then I would, of course, work on it, for days in a row, but she could have me do whatever. It wasn't the same thing every day. Sometimes there were things that were passed down from her supervisors for either her or the interns to work on, and she'd have us work on some of those. One main project I did was checking the links on Dibble's website to make sure that they would take users to the correct pages. I was also asked to look for the right pages where the links were supposed to take you. If the links were broken, I needed to look for the right ones so that they can replace the old links with the new ones. And I included some of those new links in the spreadsheet. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to find the right page for every link, but I found quite a few, so that was good. The other type of project I spent most of my time doing was reading through the different programs Dibble offers and checking them for grammar errors or inconsistencies, in titles and different things, and any other errors that make it not look as professional. That was another big project I worked on. There were a few other projects that I did, like finding statistics that Dibble needed. I also did some research on grants. Another project I worked on was coming up with activities and object lessons and music videos that went along with different lessons that Dibble had given me. One of my favorite projects to work on was what Dibble calls movie guides. And for this project, they would have us pick a movie to watch, and as we watched it, we looked for different relationship connections, and within those relationship connections, we'd come up with questions based on the relationship, but that people could apply to their own relationships in real life. So this was a fun project, and I would definitely have to say one of my favorite ones. So how I benefited Dibble, or how I hope I did. I hope I benefited them by working on the projects that I did. I spent a lot of time on the main projects I worked on, and it is only worth it if it's useful to them, so I really hope it was. I think checking the links and finding correct pages for the ones that didn't work was beneficial for Dibble, because it can be frustrating for users if links don't work. If you're trying to get to a page and you don't know how to get there besides the link that's right there in front of you, but it won't take you to the right page, it can be really frustrating. So I think identifying those broken links and helping by producing some of the right links would be beneficial for Dibble, as well as those who use Dibble as a resource. Another way I feel that I benefited Dibble was by doing the grammar checks on their programs. They want these programs to be and look professional, because lots of people look at them and teach from them and learn from them. And this is enhanced by making sure it is free from errors and looks neat and is consistent. I know, unfortunately, I didn't catch every mistake, but I think having multiple people proofread the programs is a good idea and beneficial, because different people will notice different things. And then my last thing that I hope was really beneficial to them was that my time was donated, so I'm glad that I was able to do that for them. And then how I benefited personally from doing my internship with Dibble. I think one way I benefited was by realizing and appreciating more the time that is spent making a website and having links available for people to use, because, I spent a lot of time checking the links and trying to find the right pages for them, and it was a lot of work and it took a lot of time. So I was more grateful for the time that is spent, the people who do have these websites up for our use and who put the time in to make links that are useful for us. So links can be really helpful to us as users, but like I said, it takes a lot of time to keep up to date. So I also benefited from being able to work with good people. My supervisor was really good to work with. She was always positive about what we were doing, and she responded quickly to emails and kept me busy with projects, which was really nice. I know it can be frustrating when you're trying to get hours and you don't have anything to work on, but she did a really good job at keeping projects available to us so that we could just work on them as we needed to and as we were available. And I was also able to work a little bit with another intern, which was also a really good experience. I hope other people have that experience as well. Then the next thing, the connection I made between my internship and the coursework that I did at BYU Idaho was in the family practicum class. There were lots of connections I could have made, but this was one of my favorites, and I spent a lot of time in the family practicum class coming up with a workshop with my partner, and I made this connection when I was working on editing movie guides, but I think it can be applied to other assignments and many things in life. So as you'll find out when you take the family practicum class, when my partner and I were putting together the workshop for our class, we had the chance to resubmit portions. Well, so you'd submit a portion of the workshop and see if it was good, but if it could be better, or if the instructor didn't think it was as good as it should be, then she gave us feedback, and we were able to improve it and resubmit it and get a different grade, which was an awesome learning experience. But although the chance to resubmit it was great, I learned from that experience, as well as editing movie guides, that it's worth it to spend a little bit more time initially on the assignment the first time you do it, so that you might not have to resubmit it, or if you do, it'll be really simple to change things because you've already spent the necessary time on it. It just takes a lot less time to make it good the first time, and then your professor can also see that you're taking it seriously and trying to do your best, and they'll give you honest feedback. And if they do give you more feedback, it'll just be even better. So if you spend the necessary time up front and they still give you feedback, it'll just be that much better. So that's the connection I made, and I'd like to apply that to my life by, taking extra time to, when I am doing a hobby or a craft or, anything like that. So would I recommend this internship experience to other people? And the first thing I would say is yes, I would. I just don't want people to go into this internship thinking, oh, it's perfect. Because I think, any internship experience, there might be some things that aren't your favorite. And a couple of the things that were hard were some of the assignments were a little bit redundant and hard to stay motivated to do. Checking links and reading things to look for grammar errors. It got, sometimes can get a little bit old, but for an online internship, I thought the experience was really good, as good as it could be. One thing I wish is that I would have been able to use more of what I learned in my major's courses in my internship. I kind of felt like what I did could have been done by people of any major, because, anyone can check the links, or anyone can look for grammar errors in a program. But at the same time, it was still a really good experience, and I would suggest it to people, especially if they're looking for an online internship. I think it's a great one. So with that, the people that you should contact, I contacted Aaron Larson. That's who's listed on the page at BYU Idaho, and but he forwarded my email to Rebecca Powell, and she's the one that got back to me about being an intern for the Dibble Institute, and she's the one that supervised me throughout the semester. So I'm not sure who I would suggest to get in contact with, one of those two, but both of their emails are there if you're interested. So anyways, I hope this helps, and good luck.